And before that building is inaugurated and dedicated to the nation, we here at CNN News 18 are getting you the first pictures, a sneak peek into the new India's new parliament. These are exclusive visuals that you see on your screens coming in of what the new Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha is going to look like. There are lots of inferences, lots of inspiration coming in from several of our heritage buildings. The Lok Sabha is going to be peacock themed, while the Rajya Sabha is going to be taking inspiration from the lotus. All of this is going to be thrown open by the Prime Minister in a grand ceremony on Sunday, which is in just 2 days from now. Pallavi, my colleague, joining us live, getting us more details. We are getting our viewers the sneak peek into what this new and improved parliament is going to look like, Pallavi.
Absolutely. These are the first pictures which have been out, which has been released, and which essentially, if you just look at the kind of motion of the pictures, it shows the gate through which you enter into the main portion of the Naya Sansad that leads into first the Lok Sabha. You can see those pictures up on your screens, I presume, Poonam. And of course, the green color, which always notifies Lok Sabha, the color of people. That's what it really signifies. And you can see, of course, the speaker's chair. And just behind the speaker's chair is the Sengol, which is going to be put up once the Prime Minister receives it. And just below where the speaker is sitting is that, you can find an oval-shaped area. That's where the secretariat of the speaker sits. And then, of course, the seats for the MPs, 888 is the seating capacity. Not just that, the central hall has been done away with it, which is where you normally see the joint session when the president addresses the parliament. That area is now going to be inside where the Lok Sabha is. And we've been told at least 1,200 to 1,300 people can be accommodated there. The red portion which you're seeing is actually what notifies the House of the Elders, the esteemed, and that is Rajya Sabha. And that again has pretty much the same structure. What is common, of course, is the fact that ample use of India's symbols, whether it's the Ashok Chakra, whether it's the lotus motif, all of that has been used extensively to denote the fact that this entire building built up at a cost of around 65,000 square feet is what we have been told is actually completely indigenous. The whole contract, as we know, was given to Tata Projects. It's all indigenously done. 40,000 Shramjeevis at a time used to work on a shift. The Bhumi Pujan was done in December 2020. We are looking at 2023, and it is done at a record break in 3 years. And also the fact that it is work 24/7, dead into a night, come what matter, whatever may have been the weather conditions.
It is a new and improved one, and many within the opposition are also saying that. Do stay on with me, Pallavi. Maria Shakila, political editor, also joining us on this broadcast. But there's new information that's now trickling in. And like I said, this new building, this new and improved one, is mesmerizing many within the opposition, even as the opposition calls for a boycott. And now it's NC leader and former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Omar Abdullah, who's reacted. He says, setting aside the brouhaha about the inauguration for a moment, this building is a welcome addition. The old Parliament House has served us well, but as someone who's worked there for a few years, a lot of us have often spoken amongst ourselves about the need for a new and improved Parliament. Better late than never, and I say this one looks pretty damn impressive. That's what Omar Abdullah has now come out and said. And Maria, many within the opposition, like I was pointing out, are wanting to be a part of this particular inauguration of this particular event, the celebration of democracy, because this building is something that should be celebrated. It is a symbol of a self-reliant India.
Yes, absolutely. And likes of Omar Abdullah, who have served also as members of parliament, they realize that how the old building was dilapidated. And if you speak to MPs who have been perhaps, inside the Lok Sabha, the Rajya Sabha, for several terms, they would be able to put that in context of how the structure in itself is actually falling apart, and hence there is a need for a more impressive building, which is more reflection of how India is marching, how India is growing. And for Omar Abdullah to break ranks and come out in support of this structure and say that it is about improved parliament building, which has to be celebrated rather than the entire politics around it. Let's see. Let's actually hope that there'll be more leaders in opposition who will be talking about how the structure, the new parliament building, the Naya Sansad, is very, very impressive, because certainly it's majestic. If you look at the first set of visuals that have come in, Poonam, and we can definitely see this as a reflection of how India has changed, how India as a country is growing, how India is a nation to watch out for.
Yes.
And there's a lot of curiosity around the India story. And when we look at these visuals, the MPs should take great pride in the fact that they would be inside this hall, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. So I think that honor will be attached to this place of eminence and should be viewed from that prism. I guess several of them should break ranks now and come out in support and participate in what is going to be a historic event on Sunday.
Absolutely. We are seeing chinks in the armor of the opposition, and I want to get in Congress's leader, Rashid Alvi, on the phone line also into this discussion. Rashid Alvi, Omar Abdullah there going on to say that this does look like a pretty impressive building. Do you agree now that we have seen what it's going to look like? Mr. Alvi? We'll try and reconnect with Rashid Alvi of the Congress Party and try and get a reaction coming in as far as not just what this new and improved Parliament building looks like, but also where the opposition stands. They wanted to make this about opposition unity, also talking about 2024. The entire discourse, Pallavi, has been peppered with 2024, especially as far as the Sengol is also concerned. Like we've seen several parties jumping in, talking about the transfer of power after 2024. But this opposition unity or the show of which that they want to put up looks like it's not as hunky-dory as they would want us to believe.
You know, I don't think anyone in the opposition spectrum, frankly speaking, Poonam, we had even anticipated, for example, the Sengol announcement by the BJP or by the Home Minister. Because, you know, look at it from the DMK's point of view. Here's a party which is totally based in Tamil Nadu. Elections are going to be there a couple of years away, months away, I would say. And over there, something like Sengol, which is soaked in Tamil pride and tradition, is likely to be raked up by its adversaries over there. For example, not just the BJP, but certainly the AIADMK, which hopes to bounce back. What kind of an explanation then can the DMK give? What kind of a defense can the DMK give? I'm sure there are many within the DMK who are not coming out openly, are wondering whether they were hasty in giving this kind of a support as far as boycott is concerned. Look, you can prove your point by saying that, yes, we don't agree with the Prime Minister inaugurating it. But boycott, according to many, is just an extreme step. At the end of the day, the parliament composes of not just the ruling party, but very importantly, the opposition parties as well. It's the same parliament building which you're going to be going back to. When you don't accept or you're not mesmerized by these visuals which are coming out, it's also the fact that you're not acknowledging the effort of those people who've been working day and night. And they're all Indian, no foreign agencies, no foreign collaborations, totally. The whole idea of the Sansad is that it's indigenous, it's made in India, it's essentially going to epitomize what Atmanirbhar Bharat is all about. That's the point which I think the government is trying to make repeatedly, in contrast to, say, the old parliament, which is seen as a colonial legacy.
Right, which is why we're seeing the kind of war of words that has erupted over multiple issues as far as this new parliament building goes. And which is why the BJP, Pallavi, accuses the opposition of shifting goalposts as per their convenience, because it all started when the Prime Minister did the groundbreaking ceremony, when the Bhumi Pujan happened. Right from then, there were questions being raised about the manner in which that was done, the fact that the construction continued during COVID period, then why a certain day was chosen for the inauguration, then the president not being invited, and now even the Sengol, that has now become the latest flashpoint.
Sengol actually was an issue which was raised by the Congress party. It all started really today, this morning, when Jairam Ramesh tweeted and he quoted a particular article to make the point that it's a part of WhatsApp University. See, at the Congress press conference, we repeatedly tried to ask him this question, but he said, don't divert attention from the 9 years of misrule of the Modi government. But the fact is, Poonam, I'm sure in private there may be many who would be unhappy with the idea of Sengol being commented upon. One thing which the Congress and most opposition political parties have tried to steer clear of is any conversation or any narration which actually leads to a polarization. This matters for 2024. It matters for parties like the TMC, for the Congress party also. I mean, why not? And the Samajwadi party and so on and so forth. And therefore, whether you talk about Sengol, whether you're going to talk about the Havan Puja, the Pratna Sabha, which is going to go on, I don't think it is going to cut much ice with the narrative which the opposition is going to be, it has been raising, that, you know, they are Asli Hindus. That's going to be a real bit of a problem as far as opposition goes. As I said, I think the press conference by the Home Minister was a bit of a surprise. They never expected that the Sengol would be announced. This was a research and a work in progress. And therefore, it did come as a bit of a setback as far as the Congress party's plans on boycotting it is concerned.
Pallavi, do stay on with me. The boycott brouhaha continues. There are many that have joined that chorus, 21 parties, but there are also 25 parties that are going to be in attendance. And Maria Shakil, political editor, also continues to be with us on this broadcast. And that is exactly what the BJP is pointing at, Maria, isn't it? That even though there are several opposition parties who, despite being invited, are choosing to put politics above propriety in this case and not really be there in attendance, there are several other parties who are not allies of the NDA, but they have shown magnanimity and are here to celebrate democracy.
Yes, that's right. And there are a number of non-NDA parties, which includes YSRCP, TDP, BSP, BJD, Akalis, and in all, if you look at it, that's also a list of 25 political parties who will be participating in the inauguration ceremony, which will be unfolding on 28th. Important to highlight here, if you look at the entire schedule, that also has a message of the president. It also has a message from the vice president, a probable message from the leader of opposition. Whether he would be sending a message at all, that remains to be seen. But, you know, the argument that has been made by eminent citizens is something that the opposition will have to look into. You know, the eminent citizens are saying that is it almost like a pattern that anything that the government does, you just take the route of opposition. They are reminding the Congress party of what happened in 2017 when they, opposed the GST, the big GST announcement where the president and the Prime Minister, both of them were present. So this kind of opposition has been continuing on each and every issue. So that's what the eminent citizens letter, if you look at it, all of them, a number of them have been former bureaucrats, former ambassadors, raising this concern that are they being on the wrong side of the history? Because if anything, these MPs should have participated in what is going to be a historic event that will happen on 28th.
Absolutely. In less than 48 hours from now is when India gets a new parliament. It is going to be a symbol of a new India, as the BJP says, as the centre says. It's also going to be a symbol of a self-reliant India. We've seen how the construction has happened in the last 2.5 years at the pace that it has been. And these visuals on your screens are what the new parliament is going to look like. There are going to be several changes that have been made from the current building. The number of seats has been enhanced. The central hall is not there, but there are several more committee rooms as well that have been added, unlike in the current and old building, which is why we've seen many within the opposition, including Omar Abdullah of the National Conference, who've come out and said that this does look pretty impressive, and also it was the need of the hour. Now, as far as this building in itself goes, Maria, the Congress on multiple occasions in the past, many within the opposition, in fact, in the past, have said that this building, the current one, has run its course and we do need a new one. Why then the politics over it? Maria? We'll try and reconnect with Maria Shakil, but senior editor Pallavi Ghosh also continues to be with us on this broadcast. And the face-off and the war of words, Pallavi, continues between all parties. But the fact is that this new building is going to be extremely crucial in terms of how it's built, in the terms of the kind of facilities and amenities it's going to have. A lot of it which was missing from the old one. And in the age that we are in, all of these facilities are extremely important. The digital India push that the government has been making, as far as the new parliament goes, we're given to understand that it's going to be a paperless one.
Well, if you just to give for example, one example, in the old Parliament building, there often used to be a network problem over there because, you know, the way it is built, there are basements and there are down basements, second basements as well, because that's how the Parliament building was structured. When you try going there, and there are offices over there, mind you, they're not able to work. Sometimes the Wi-Fi connection, the internet connections also does not work applicably. They are old structures, they are old style of working which are over there. All of that is going to be a complete change as far as the new Parliament building is concerned. In the new Parliament building, of course, the state-of-the-art technology, it's going to be tech-savvy. It's going to be largely paperless. That's also something which has been taken care of. It's also going to be largely wireless. You know, none of those ugly, dangling wires are going to be seen, which can be seen as far as the old Parliament building is concerned. I mean, let's go back to 1947, 1927, when the Parliament building first came up. It was structured to deal with one main political party. Later on, two more political parties. No one had anticipated that we'll have so many regional parties. There would be so many officers. The number of officers would increase, the ministries would increase, the media would increase. So it's not built to accommodate so much of manpower or logistics. All that has been accommodated. Every area has been structured and taken care of. There are different areas, for example, for a media enclosure where, the sound bites are going to take place, where the press conferences are going to take place. There is no such thing as a central hall, but the larger hall of the Lok Sabha where more than 1,200 people can accommodate at one point of time. There are massive dining areas, separate one for MPs, for officers, all of them very nicely paid up. And more than that, the kitchen,
Yes.
because that was also an area of concern. I remember, Poonam, around 3 years back, there was a small fire inside one of the kitchens. And after that, the kitchen has been segregated. But it was not built to cook for so many people. All that has been taken care of in the Naya Sansad.
Yes, Pallavi, do stay on with me. BJP's RP Singh is with us on the broadcast, so thank you so much for speaking with us. We have several within the opposition who don't seem to be agreeing with what the Congress is saying or many others are saying, including Omar Abdullah now, who comes out and says that this building looks pretty impressive.
Well, it's not only impressive, it's a building which will take care of the country's need of the parliament for the next 150 years. So this has been designed and been made keeping in mind the future. And then this into a building which is going to serve us for long now. And then will take care of the increased number of parliament, member of parliament also. I mean, I've been told almost 888 Lok Sabha and some 400 odd plus for the Rajya Sabha.
Yes. But the opposition has made this about 2024 as well, Mr. RP Singh. How do you look at that, especially as far as the Sengol and the transfer of power is concerned? Many within the opposition, including the Samajwadi Party and the NCP, have come out and said, oh, look, you're talking about transfer of power. Let's see what happens next year in 2024.
Well, then it will be, whatever happens, one has to accept the mandate of the people. Why they have to play politics into it? And then also, see, it's the Mughals and the Mongol Mughals and the Congress Mughals. They can't accept anyone else to be serving the country. And then that's how they are opposing even the traditions and the culture and the heritage of the country.
Sure, RP Singh, thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. These visuals on your screens are the first look of what the new parliament is going to look like. This, of course, is the Lok Sabha, the green carpeting that we see. This is the Rajya Sabha where it will all be red, much like what we've seen in the old parliament as well. So that is one of the things that remains the same. Congress's America Narayanan joining us on this broadcast. Thank you so much for speaking with us, sir, here on CNN News 18. What are your first thoughts now that we have a sneak peek into the new parliament?
Well, honestly, I think I understand the need for a new parliament. I think we should have saved the history and, the old is gold. Now, if we could have revived it and made it as convenient for the members and with the modern technology, that would have been a better thing. But having said that, your parliament is nicer and hopefully, we would have taken, the Prime Minister should have taken an effort to take everybody with him because it's not the Prime Minister's parliament or one party's parliament. Unfortunately, it has not been done.
But the opposition is invited, sir. The opposition has decided to not go.
Well, it's a question of who to the party. As I said, since the parliament is for everyone, a president of this country would have been more appropriate authority to inaugurate this. But that's the way life is, and BJP has played politics in this. And, I wish it had been done better. That's all to it.
Mr. Narayanan, there are several within the opposition also, including Omar Abdullah, one of your former allies, who's come out now and said that this was the need of the hour and let the brouhaha not be looked at into so much. Everyone should perhaps be a part of this. How do you look at that?
Which ally who has told us that?
This is Omar Abdullah.
Who is saying? Okay. No, I think, as I said, he's not a former ally. He still is an ally of Congress, as I understand it. I sincerely wish that all the parties have gotten together. These are the events that can bring the that. And the important thing is the person who is in power has more responsibility than the people in the opposition. I wish it has been done, but that's the way life is.
Sure,
I think politics, as we set aside some point in life, Prime Minister could have yielded to the opposition demand. He doesn't take anything away from the Prime Minister. He is my Prime Minister too. But I think a statesman like Prime Minister should take everybody together.
Sure. America Narayanan, thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. The Congress still thinks the onus is on the centre, on the Prime Minister, to ensure that the opposition is there, and the only way the opposition would be in attendance is if the President is in attendance as well. Let's listen into some of those war of words, the reactions that have poured in over this latest controversy.
संसद भवन का उद्घाटन एक ऐतिहासिक अवसर है जो अब 21वीं सदी में दोबारा नहीं आने वाला है और इस शुभ अवसर पर संसद या राष्ट्रपति को विवाद में लाने से किसी को भी बचना चाहिए। तकनीकी दृष्टि से यह संसद का कोई सत्र नहीं बुलाया गया है, यह तो संसद भवन के उद्घाटन का समारोह है। अतः हमें संवैधानिक सत्र और सार्वजनिक समारोह का अंतर समझना चाहिए। राजनीतिक विरोध के अनेक अवसर आते जाते रहेंगे और मैं यही आग्रह करूंगा कि जिन दलों ने समारोह के बहिष्कार का निर्णय लिया है वे अपने फैसले पर राजनीतिक लाभ हानि से परे जाकर वह पुनर्विचार करें।
अब आप तो ये पिछले कुछ दिनों से ये बहस आप सुन रहे हैं और मुझे तो लगता है कि जो उद्घाटन जो हो रहा है होगा, ये लोकतंत्र का एक उत्सव है और हमें उस स्पिरिट में लेना चाहिए। ये विवाद का विषय नहीं बनना चाहिए। ये दुर्भाग्य है अगर ये बनता है और ये मुझे आप जानते हैं कि कुछ लोगों की ये कोशिश है, पर मुझे लगता है कि राजनीति की भी कुछ सीमा होनी चाहिए और कम से कम ऐसे मौके पे हम पूरे देश को सब मिलजुल कर इसको मनाना चाहिए।
गांधी खानदान का खुद और खुद से संबद्ध लोगों को प्रेरित करना कि वो नए राष्ट्रपति भवन, नए जो पार्लियामेंट है उसके इनॉगरेशन का विरोध करें, ये हमारे लिए कोई सरप्राइजिंग बात नहीं है। जिन्होंने सतत राष्ट्रपति जी का अपमान किया, आज वो उनकी दुहाई देते हैं। नई पार्लियामेंट बिल्डिंग के इनॉग्रेशन का बहिष्कार देश के नागरिकों का बहिष्कार है, राष्ट्र के सांस्कृतिक इतिहास का अपमान है। ये मेरा कांग्रेस के खिलाफ वक्तव्य है।
देखिए, कांग्रेस एक कुंठित पार्टी है, कांग्रेस एक नकारात्मक सोच रखने वाला पार्टी है। मैं अभी भी समय है, मैं उनको अपील करता हूं, वो छह राजनीति से ऊपर आए। ये आनंद की मुहूर्त है। आजाद भारत में भारतीयों के द्वारा अपने ही संसद भवन दुनिया की सबसे पुरानी, सबसे मजबूत, सबसे बड़ी और सबसे ताकतवर प्रजातंत्र की नई संसद भवन बन रहा है। वे आए और उस सामाजिक उत्सव में शामिल हो, ये मेरा उनको सुझाव रहेगा।
They are very much affection and respect now they are showing about the Rashtrapati. Why they put candidate against her? Now they wanted to quoting that she is an Adivasi. They are insulting Adivasi. All these things only to divert the people attention and to get some vote from some certain section of the society. This thing is going on.
Is to be discussed in the parliament, then it could be done in the parliament itself during the business of the house. And therefore, the BJD Supremo, Naveen Patnaik, has decided to support the inauguration and attend the, and has directed that the party MPs are encouraged to attend the function.
मैं फिर कहूँगा प्रधानमंत्री जी, आप पुनर्विचार करिए। जो संवैधानिक मुखिया हैं, जो संसद की मुखिया हैं, उनके अधिकार को सिर्फ इसलिए मत छीनिए कि वो आदिवासी महिला हैं। वो हमारे देश की महिमा महिम राष्ट्रपति हैं। संवैधानिक मुखिया, संसद के मुखिया उद्घाटन करें, आप भी उपस्थित रहें, हमारे महामहिम उपराष्ट्रपति जी भी उपस्थित रहें, स्पीकर साहब भी रहें। आइए मिलजुल कर इस आयोजन को करें।
The Supreme Court verdict is a resounding slap on the face of those who sponsor politically interested litigations and politically motivated obstructions to a historic moment in the lifetime of India's democracy, the unveiling and inauguration of the new Parliament building on 28th of May. It only shows the pessimistic, hypocritical mindset of the Congress party and such elements who indulge in this kind of obstructionism on any issue of Rashtra-niti, they do Rajniti. It also shows that the Congress party is the mother of hypocrisy when it comes to temple of democracy.
प्रधानमंत्री जी नए संसद भवन का उद्घाटन करते हैं, अपने अधिकार में करेंगे। लोकसभा के अध्यक्ष ने उन्हें इनवाइट किया है, लेकिन अगर आप निमंत्रण पत्रिका देखें, अगर आप कार्य देखें, तो संविधान के दूसरे नंबर के जो नेता होते हैं उपराष्ट्रपति, उनका भी नाम नहीं है। राष्ट्रपति तो है ही नहीं। अरे भाई, राष्ट्रपति को निमंत्रण तो दीजिए। बात यहाँ अटकी।
ये आर्टिकल अमेरिका की टाइम मैगजीन का जो इशू था 25 अगस्त 1947 में छपा था। मैं चाहूंगा इसमें हमारे जो मित्र लोग हैं राजनीतिक दलों में, जो इस विषय पे विरोध कर रहे हैं, वो इस आर्टिकल को पढ़ें और थोड़ी जानकारी लें कि सेंगोल की क्या सिंबोलिज्म है, 1947 में क्या हुआ है, और अभी ये जो विरोध का नाटक है वो इसके कारण वो अपने लोगों पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू का भी एक तरीके से विरोध कर रहे हैं।
बोला है बीजेडी का कुछ जांच नहीं है, मैं कांग्रेस जो बोलना दो वो बोलने दो कांग्रेस को। बीजेडी लोगों के पास उत्तरदायी है, लोगों का काम करेगा, लोगों के लिए जो अच्छा होगा बीजेडी उसको करेगा।
कांग्रेस को और उसके साथी विपक्षी दलों को जब भी आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में होता है तो विघ्न बाधाएं पैदा करते हैं। इन दलों के द्वारा देश के अंदर कांग्रेस के समय में जिस प्रकार से आपातकाल सौंपा गया, जिस प्रकार से लोगों को उत्पीड़ित किया गया, पीड़ित किया गया, उनका तमाम प्रकार की यातनाएं दी गई, वो पूरा देश जानता है। आज ये लोग जिस प्रकार से आज केवल विरोध के लिए विरोध कर रहे हैं जिसका कोई कारण नहीं है, जबकि आज पूरी दुनिया भारत के प्रधानमंत्री जी के स्वागत में पलक पावड़े बिछाई हुई है।
There is a latest flashpoint as far as the new parliament building goes, and that has ensured that there is another face-off between the opposition and the BJP, and that is over the Sengol. Congress has now taken a jibe at the centre. They've said that the new parliament building is being constructed with typically false narratives from WhatsApp University. Jairam Ramesh of the Congress party added that the BJP-RSS distortions stand exposed, to which the BJP responded in equal measure. Union Minister Smriti Irani came out and said that the Sengol is a symbol of freedom that was kept in the dark corner of a museum as a walking stick of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. That was an insult. And now it is the BJP and this particular government that is giving this relic the pride of place that it deserves. Meanwhile, Adinam Seers have also hit back at the Congress party, alleging that what they are claiming is a completely false narrative.
Sir, we are seeing that Jairam Ramesh has tweeted and said that it's a false narrative. There is nothing like shifting of power from one to another.
You know, the transfer of power was a historic event. And in that process, this has been transferred. And this has been given to India. This is a part of the sovereignty of the country. This is a part of the cultural process of the country. And Congress party devalues and degrades everything which is related to India's culture by defining and degrading it as a communal incidents, communal symbols. I think that Congress party does not tolerate the progress of the country under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, as the country's dignity, country's prosperity is increasing day by day. Therefore, Congress Party, by creating unnecessary controversy, trying to divert the attention of the people from the India's progress and the basic issues related to the nation.
आपने मुझसे सेंगोल के संदर्भ में प्रश्न पूछा। जो धर्म का दंड है वो प्रतीक है भारत की लोकतांत्रिक आजादी का। उस प्रतीक को, जो हमारे स्वर्णिम इतिहास का एक विशिष्ट अंग है, गांधी खानदान ने एक म्यूजियम के किसी अंधेरे कोने में नेहरू जी की छड़ी के रूप में वर्षों वर्ष तक रख रखा था। क्या ये नहीं दर्शाता कि गांधी खानदान वाकई में हमारे देश के इतिहास, हमारे देश के लोकतंत्र के बारे में क्या सोचता है?
Now, those were the political fireworks, but the people who've been associated with the Sengol, the families that have been associated with them, have to say that there could be nothing more significant than this particular opportunity that they have received, with the Prime Minister ensuring that the Sengol is placed in the Parliament when the inauguration happens. My colleague and senior editor Pallavi Ghosh, in fact, spoke exclusively to the descendants of this, of the creator of this relic. Listen in to what they had to say.
Thank you very much, Mr. Amrinder Vimudi. And it's a big day for, I guess, for you. First of all, before I ask you about how you feel about it, can you just explain to our viewers the significance of Sengol and the history behind it?
Thank you for having me on your channel. And very happy to tell you that, as a part of the family, and it's a great moment for our family and for our country. And this Sengol has actually come from this part of the country, which is makes us even more proud. The significance of a Sengol is it's a rule of the land. So whoever is ruling over the land has the Sengol. And the significance is that a lot of people could come and go, but the Sengol always remains the same. It's just to remind the person who's actually ruling it, the previous person ruled it with justice. And
just looking at one of the pictures, so if you could just explain to our viewers what are the different parts and what each of it signifies, and if you have an idea, I'm sure you do, how it was made, how many people were involved in making it, and when was it made?
The Nandi has totally 3 parts. The scepter has 3 parts. The top part is the Nandi. The bottom part, which is it's a little bit more bulged, which has the Lakshmi Ji on it. And below that, it has a nice twining design to finish the rest of the bottom. The Nandi is for justice. You would have also seen people in a Shiva temple. You know, they'll go and tell their wishes to the Nandi, and the Nandi tells it to Shiva, and it comes true. So it's also a part of that. And below that, we have the Lakshmi Ji, just to show us prosperity.
Pallavi Ghosh, my colleague, joining us for more on this. Pallavi, this entire controversy was triggered by the Congress party. They claim this was nothing but a bogus claim by the BJP and a WhatsApp university forward taunt is what Jairam Ramesh said. But we've had several others in the opposition who've also come out and now linked this to 2024 and the transfer of power after next year's Lok Sabha elections.
In fact, I think this whole narrative which is being pushed also by the BJP and the counter coming in from the opposition parties could have a spillover effect as far as the 2024 Lok Sabha elections are concerned. Couple of points which the BJP is likely to raise, that whenever it comes to Indianness, nationalism, national interest, or respecting the religious beliefs, why is it that these opposition parties, particularly the Congress party, show its anti-Hindu mindset? In fact, if you look at the early morning tweet of the Home Minister, he made the point. Why is it that Congress party is always against Indian tradition and belief? When we start looking at the state elections, but more importantly at the Lok Sabha elections, in the past too, the Prime Minister has made the point, the BJP too has made the point today in a list of press conferences. Ministers have been making the point that this just goes on to show the Congress's colonial hangover. They cannot want to shed the colonial legacy. That's one. They don't appreciate the work which are being done by Indians. The fact that it is a complete Indian symbol of parliamentary democracy. And also it is something to do with our own beliefs. For example, as I've been saying since morning, this is something which could put the DMK into a bit of a spot. I don't think they had expected that a Sengol angle will also be put forward by the Home Minister.
Right, and that seems to have stumped the opposition. For the moment, Pallavi, thank you so much for putting that in perspective for us. My colleague Purnima had a conversation with a noted classical dancer as well. She was the one who wrote a letter to the Prime Minister's office in 2021 about locating the Sengol, which was in the Allahabad Museum, and ensuring that it gets the significant place that it will on Sunday in the Parliament. Listen in to what she had to tell us.
What prompted you to write this letter, ma'am?
Well, way back, not too long ago, to be precise, 5/5/2021, dated Tughlaq Tamil magazine, had an article written by Sri Gurumurthy ji on the Sengol story. I was very moved with that, and I thought it should be publicized in the proper way, and it was too important in my mind. It was something to do with the very history of our independence. So I wrote a translation of the whole article with a covering letter requesting our Honorable Prime Minister to see if it can be part of 75th year of our independence celebration. That is what I wrote. Wanted this to be part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. But I didn't get any reply immediately, even it is almost 1.5 years. But now I feel elated that it is more than just one celebration. It has come to a point when it will be permanently installed in the very temple of our democracy.
That controversy continues to escalate, and we'll keep a track of that here on CNN News 18. Before now, a quick break.
The Congress has taken huge lead. Just compare this to 2018. This is 2023 right now, 2018. Look at the sea of saffron here. It was BJP 34 out of 56, the Congress only 19. But this time around in Karnataka, it's almost the opposite story.
The counting has begun. We have got the first call. First one we are getting from Bellary City, constituency number 94, Zaka.
The Reddy brothers, Somashekar Reddy of the BJP is fighting. His brother Gali Janardhan Reddy has formed his own party.
The key race alert. Assembly constituency has around 1.5 to 2 lakh voters. Which means even if it is a voting percentage of 70 or 65, still it's a substantial number of votes which is yet to be counted.
Look at some of these rebels, some of them are winning. Yeah. For example, Lakshman Sawadi has won. And Jagdish Shettar was a former chief minister, 6 times sitting MLA from Hubli Dharwar Central. He's not winning.
Congress has sent out the news, ladies and gentlemen. An update, the Congress has asked all its candidates to come to Bengaluru.
Tamil Nadu as of other states as well inside a parliament. But thank you very, very much for speaking to CNN News 18.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will install the Sengol, a historic scepter from Tamil Nadu in the new parliament building, which is scheduled to be inaugurated in May 28th. Sengol plays an important and significant role in India's history. It symbolizes the transfer of power from the British era to New India. It was on August 14, 1947 when Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru received the Sengol. Recreating history, Prime Minister Modi will receive the Sengol from Adhinams of Tamil Nadu before the inauguration and will place it inside the new Parliament Bhavan. CNN News 18's Pallavi Ghosh spoke exclusively to the descendants of the creator of Sengol. Listen in.
Thank you very much, Mr. Amrinder Vimudi. And it's a big day for, I guess, for you. First of all, before I ask you about how you feel about it, can you just explain to our viewers the significance of Sengol and the history behind it?
Thank you for having me on your channel. I'm very happy to tell you that, as a part of the family, and it's a great moment for our family and for our country. And this Sengol has actually come from this part of the country, which makes us even more proud. The significance of a Sengol is it's a rule of the land. So whoever is ruling over the land has the Sengol. And the significance is that a lot of people could come and go, but the Sengol always remains the same. It's just to remind the person who's actually ruling it, the previous person ruled it with justice and with the right ethics. You should also do it with the same way.
And what are the parts of the Sengol? Because I believe there's a Nandi there. I was just looking at one of the pictures. So if you could just explain to our viewers what are the different parts and what each of it signifies. And if you have an idea, I'm sure you do, how it was made, how many people were involved in making it, and when was it made?
The Nandi has totally three parts. The scepter has three parts. The top part is the Nandi. The bottom part, which is it's a little bit more bulged, which has the Lakshmi Ji on it. And below that, it has a nice twining design to finish the rest of the bottom. The Nandi is for justice. You would have also seen people in a Shiva temple. They'll go and tell their wishes to the Nandi, and the Nandi tells it to Shiva, and it comes true. So it's also a part of that. And below that, we have the Lakshmi Ji, just to show us prosperity.
And so I'm told it's made out of silver, but it's gold plated. So how many carats of gold? Yeah.
This is still made out of gold, and the entire thing is made of 22 karat of gold, and it will probably weigh around about, say, 800 to a kilo of gold.
And it's in, and your family, of course, has been involved. Your family tree is involved. Have you got to see it? Have you gone there to see it? Do you have an idea of the history behind it? And when was a particular year when it was made? Yeah.
It was made in 1947. It should have maybe 30 days before the independence. The order had come in, and my grandfather and his brothers together have executed the job and then given it to the government. The design had come from the Adinam in Tiruvadadurai. So the significance of all of this is known by the Adinam, which is a mutt. It's a Shaivite mutt there.
Yes.
So they have given us the design, and we have executed the job and given it back to the government.
Have you ever gone to have a look at it yourself? Because it's in Allahabad Museum.
Yes.
No.
I had not gone to.
Welcome back. Income tax officials conducted raids at around 40 locations across Tamil Nadu today, linked to State Minister Senthil Balaji. DMK workers, though, vandalized Income Tax Department's cars that were part of an IT raid in Karur. Remember, Senthil Balaji is a close confidant of Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. The raids in Tamil Nadu come a month after the IT department conducted searches at 50 locations in connection to real estate firm G Square Realtors, not just in Tamil Nadu but in Karnataka as well. Senthil Balaji, meanwhile, has come out and said that the raids were at his aide's residence and none of his properties were under the lens.
So DMK Minister Senthil Balaji's close aides are reportedly raided by the income tax officials. It's still unclear as to why the raids are currently happening. But how do you see these raids? This comes exactly after G Square was raided, and also Anna Nagar DMK MLA was raided just a short while ago as well.
Yeah, you watch all the raids conducted so far in the 9 years. Every raid was conducted only in the houses of opposition parties, and particularly the opposition parties whichever are ruling the states, the raids are conducted. Definitely it is a political vendetta, and they will face the problems when they do continue with this. Yeah, there is no police protection for the raiders or the people, IT officials. They need police support.
The audacity of the Sendil Balaji supporters of DMK. The raid is happening in his brother's residence, the couple of contractors and many other people. But DMK goons garrowing the entire raid and brandishing the IT raids officials, asking them to show their ID cards and attacking the vehicles and convoy shows the level of the plight of law and order in the state of Tamil Nadu. Even government officials are being taken to task. And there has never been any instance like this in Tamil Nadu since independence.
BJP government in the center is using IT department, ED and CBI like a war against the opposition. In a war, in the military force, they will use Navy, Air Force and artillery. Like this, three sectors of the Government of India, namely ED, CBI and IT department is being used by the center to like a war against the opposition, to crush the opposition.
In their houses, the income tax officials are attacked, their vehicles are being attacked, and the police as usual is keeping quiet. They are mute spectators. So we want the police to arrest the gundas, the DMK gundas and Sendil Balaji's thugs, to arrest those people under Gundas Act and also arrest who had instigated this. See, how can so many persons in front of the house will gather there and they will try to attack or try to kill the income tax officer. So they should be arrested, and the government, particularly the Chief Minister, wherever he is, has to act immediately and order for the dismissal of Sendil Balaji.
It's time for yet another quick break on this edition, but there's lots lined up for you on Nation at 5. Do stay tuned.
With the right ethics, you should also do it with the same way.
And what are the parts of the Sengol? Because I believe there's a Nandi there. I was just looking at one of the pictures. So if you could just explain to our viewers, what are the different parts and what each of it signifies? And if you have an idea, I'm sure you do, how it was made, how many people were involved in making it, and when was it made?
The Nandi has totally three parts. The scepter has three parts. The top part is the Nandi. The bottom part, which is it's a little bit more bulged, which has the Lakshmi Ji on it. And below that, it has a nice twining design to finish the rest of the bottom. The Nandi is for justice. You would have also seen people in a Shiva temple. You know, they'll go and tell their wishes to the Nandi, and the Nandi tells it to Shiva, and it comes true. So it's also a part of that. And below that, we have the Lakshmi Ji, just to show us prosperity.
And so I'm told it's made out of silver, but it's gold plated. So how many carats of gold? Yeah.
This is still made out of gold, and the entire thing is made of 22 carat of gold. And it will probably weigh around, what, say, 800 to a kilo of gold.
And it's in, and your family, of course, has been involved. Your family tree is involved. Have you got to see it? Have you gone there to see it? Do you have an idea of the history behind it? And when was the particular year when it was made? Yeah.
It was made in 1947. It should have maybe 30 days before the independence. The order had come in, and my grandfather and his brothers together have executed the job and then given it to the government. The design had come from the Adinam in Tiruvadadurai. So the significance of all of this is known by the Adinam, which is a mutt. It's a Shaivite mutt there.
Yes.
So they have given us the design, and we have executed the job and given it back to the government.
Have you ever gone to have a look at it yourself? Because it's in Allahabad Museum.
Yes.
No.
I had not gone to look at it, but a few of people of our team, when we first discovered it was there in Allahabad, two of my team members had gone to Allahabad and seen the Sengol, and we were actually very excited. And we also confirmed this was the Sengol because there was a Tamil inscription on the Sengol. And it actually signified as to what this was, when it was given, to whom it was given, and why it is given also. So it's very clearly mentioned in Tamil. So when our people went there, we were able to find out this was the right piece that we were looking for.
Amrita, have there been orders since the news broke out that it's going to be a part of Parliament? Are people coming to you with interest? Do they want to get a replica made for themselves as well?
I'm sure a lot of people will be having that interest. But as an organization, we've decided not to do a replica of this for commercial purposes, but for our own purpose and for people to have a better look at it. We made one replica, but I don't think so we'll be doing anything for a commercial purpose, because it's a very significant part of thing, and it's with our government, and it should be the one of the kind, and it should not be replicated at all.
And are you happy when you first heard the news, when it was announced, for example, by the Home Minister, that Sengol is going to be a part and pride of place inside the Parliament? As someone whose family has been associated with it, and someone who's from Tamil Nadu and a Tamilian himself, are you proud? And as an Indian also, what were your first feelings?
Overwhelming. What else can I say? It was we are out of words to know something that my grandfather, our family had done, and now it would be the pride of the Parliament. And the Home Minister has spoken in such length about this Sengol. Really, the importance is now it's got its actual worth, and it's got its importance right now, the Sengol. For
and
so many years,
of course want to be a You would of course want to be a part of the proceedings.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. So hope to see you, and thank you very much. I must say.
Welcome back. Less than 2 days to go before India gets a new parliament, and the Prime Minister himself is now taken to social media to put out a sneak peek of the new parliament building, and he's tweeted, and I quote, "The new parliament building will make every Indian proud. This video offers a glimpse of the iconic building. I have a special request. Share this video with your own voiceover," says the Prime Minister, which conveys your thoughts. I will retweet some of them as well, is what the Prime Minister has now come out and said, sharing a hashtag as well. So there's engagement on social media too happening. This comes less than 48 hours before the inauguration of the new parliament building that is slated for Monday. At about 12 p.m. on Sunday is when the Prime Minister is going to be inaugurating the parliament building with several other dignitaries in tow. The video that the Prime Minister has tweeted is the one that we've been getting to you exclusively on CNN News 18 as well, the one that you see on your screens. Pallavi, my colleague, also joining us to get us more details. Yes, Pallavi. Pallavi?
On that idea, Poonam, which we were talking a short while back, the whole idea of the new parliament building being a people's parliament, something which is going to connect with the people directly, which is why the Prime Minister's tweet can be understood in that context, that he wants the common man, the people, who many of them may not be lucky enough to go inside the parliament, whether old or new. They should see it as a representative of their wishes, their ambitions and desires, and their aspirations as well. And therefore, that people's connect is something which the Prime Minister is talking about, and hence is requesting people to, the whole idea of the video is not to have any sound or on it. You lend your voice. You talk about my parliament. That's the hashtag which he's asking people to use. So I think it is in sync, if I can make a comparison about the Padma Awards as well. It's called the People's Padma. The whole idea is that entitled people should not have access to Padma Awards. People who are common, who do the work on the ground. And similarly, Parliament is especially a representative of the aspiration and desires of the people. And therefore, it's the people whose voice should carry inside Parliament.
That's the thought that the Prime Minister has also echoed before the inauguration happens. For the moment, Pallavi, thank you so much. Now, even as the controversy over the Sengol continues, we have the head priest of the Adhinam now speaking out.
திருக்கைலாய பரம்பரை திருவாரூர் ஆதீன குறும்பு அம்சாயமத்தை போற்றி வணங்கியும் நாம் எல்லாம் இன்றைய தினம் பேசிக்கொண்டிருப்பது செங்கோல் சிறப்பை பற்றி. நாம் எல்லாம் இந்த உலகம் முழுவதும் இன்று பரவி கொண்டிருக்கிறது. இந்த செங்கோல் திருவாவடுதுறை ஆதீனத்தின் மூலமாக 1947 அன்று பாரத பிரதமர் ஜவஹர்லால் நேரு அவர்களுக்கு
in 1947 was handed over to Jawaharlal Nehru.
இந்த சுதந்திரம் அடைந்த பின்பு நேருஜி, ராஜாஜி, மூத்த தலைவர்கள் எல்லாம் நமது திருவாவூர்தை ஆதீனத்தில் தொடர்பு கொண்டார்கள். சைவ ஆதீனங்களிலே 18 ஆதீனங்களிலே
Rajaji and the team had contacted
அந்த ஆதீனத்தை தொடர்பு கொண்டு ராஜாஜி அவர்கள் எல்லாம் இந்தியா சுதந்திரம் அடைந்து விட்டது, இந்த சுதந்திரத்தை நாம எப்படி அடையாளப்படுத்தி கொடுப்பது என்று
they asked us as to how can we celebrate the Independence Day.
அங்கே ஒரு அப்பொழுது 1947 அருளாட்சி செய்து கொண்டிருந்த திருவாவூர் ஆதீனம் 20வது குருமாசனியான் அவர்களுடைய திருநாமம் அம்பலமான தேசிகர். அவர்களுடைய காலத்திலே அந்த செங்கோல் செய்யப்பட்ட இடம் சென்னையில் கும்மிடி பங்கார் நகைக்கடையில் அந்த ஒரு உயரத்தில் அந்த செங்கோல் செய்யப்பட்டது. அந்த செங்கோலை திருவாவூர் ஆதீனத்தின் மூலமாக ஆதீனத்து தம்பிரான் சடைசாமி என்கின்ற குமாரசாமி தம்பிரான் அவர்களும், மாணிக்க ஓதுவார் அவர்களும் மற்றும் DN ராஜரத்னம் அவர்களும் அங்கே விமானம் மூலமாக டெல்லிக்கு சென்றார்கள். அங்கே மவுண்ட் பேட்டன் பிரபு அவர்களிடத்திலே தம்பிரான் சுவாமிகள் அந்த செங்கோலை கொடுக்க, அந்த செங்கோல் மீண்டும் மவுண்ட் பேட்டன் இந்த ஆட்சி பொறுப்பை நேருஜி அவர்களிடம் கொடுக்க வேண்டும் என்று சொல்ல அந்த ஊர்வலமாக அந்த செங்கோலை எடுத்துக்கொண்டு பலமாக வந்து அந்த செங்கோலை நமது பாரத பிரதமர் ஜவஹர்லால் ஆதீனத்து தம்பிரான் மூலமாக வழங்கப்பட்டது என்பதை நாம் எல்லாம் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறோம். இது மகிழ்ச்சியான ஒரு செய்தி. இன்று 75 ஆண்டுகளாக இந்த அலகாபாத்தில் அந்த அருங்காட்சியகத்தில் ஒரு கண்ணாடி பெட்டிக்குள்ளே இருந்த அந்த செங்கோலை இன்று பாரத பிரதமர் நமது மோடி அவர்கள் இந்த பாராளுமன்றம் திறக்கப்பட உள்ளது. பாரத பிரதமர் அவர்கள் வாங்கி அந்த செங்கோலை நமது அந்த சபாநாயகரை இருக்கையிலே வைக்கப்பட்டு இருக்கிறார்கள் என்பதெல்லாம் நாம் கேள்விப்பட்டு மகிழ்ச்சி அடைந்தோம். அதுபோல நமக்கு எல்லாம் டெல்லியிலிருந்து அழைப்பு வந்திருந்தது. டெல்லி செல்கிறோம். இந்த டெல்லி சென்று அந்த செங்கோலை செங்கோலை அந்த பாராளுமன்றத்திலே வைக்கப்பட இருக்கிற என்பதை மகிழ்ச்சியுடன் நாம் எல்லாம் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறோம். தெரிவிச்சிட்டோம். வரலாற்று படமே இருக்கு, புகைப்படமே திருவாவூர் அதில் இருக்கு. அந்த செங்கோல் கொடுத்த படம் அது அங்கதான் இருக்கு. இங்க இருக்கான்னு பாருங்க.
We have pictures of Sengol being handed over to Nehruji.
சில பேர் தவறான செய்திகளை
There are some people who are spreading false information.
இந்த காலகட்டத்தில் அது பொய்யான ஒரு தகவல் செங்கோல் கொடுக்கவில்லை என்று சொல்கிறார்கள். இதெல்லாம் பொய்யான தகவல். இதில் 1940 ஆங்கில ஏட்டிலெல்லாம் வந்திருக்கிறது. அதுலேயும் புகைப்படம் இருக்கிறது. அதில் பார்த்தா தெரியும். இதை
There are photos of Sengol which dates back to 1947 and there's enough evidence to prove.
பார்த்தா நமக்கு தெளிவு கிடைக்கும், எல்லாருக்கும் தெளிவு கிடைக்கும். ஆதீனத்தில் நமக்கு கிடைத்தது.
மீண்டும் வைக்க போறீங்க நாடாளுமன்றத்துல இந்த செங்கோல் வந்து மீண்டும் வைக்க போறீங்க. சிறப்பு பூஜைகள் அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது செய்ய போறாங்களா?
சிறப்பு பூஜைகள் சரியா தெரியவில்லை. அங்க போய் நேரில் போய் பார்த்தா தான் தெரியும்.
இந்த செங்கோலை கையில கொடுக்கும் பொழுது தேவாரம் ஒன்று,
ஆமா, தேவாரம் ஞானசம்பந்த பெருமான் அந்த பாடல் பாடினார். கோளொரு பதிகம் என்ற அந்த 11 பாடலை பாடி கடைசி பாடல் அரசாழ்வர் ஆணை நமதே என்று அந்த தேவாரத்தை பாடி ஓதுவார்கள். அந்த புனித நீரெல்லாம் தெளித்து அந்த செங்கோலை ஜவஹர்லால் நேருவிடம் கொடுத்த
We will purify Sengol. The Sengol was purified and then handed over to Nehru in 1947, and there's enough proof that this happened.
இது ஒரு பாரம்பரியமாக கொடுத்த ஒன்று 75 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு அப்புறம் மறுபடியும் நாடாளுமன்றத்தில் வைக்கிறாங்க. சில பேர் இப்படி பொய்யான தகவல் சொல்றாங்கன்றது வருத்தம் அளிக்குதா? சன்னிதானத்துக்கோ ஆதீனத்துக்கோ வருத்தம்?
ஆமா, அது வருத்தம் அளிக்கத்தான் செய்கிறது. இந்த பொய்யான தகவலை எல்லாரும் சில பேர் சொல்லிக் கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். இது வருந்தத்தக்க ஒரு செய்தியாகும்.
Welcome everyone. Thanks for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. A fierce political battle has erupted over the Sengol, which Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to install in the new parliament on May 28. The Sengol from the Chola era and handed over to Jawaharlal Nehru as a symbol of power transfer is being labelled as bogus by his own party, the Indian National Congress. The Congress has alleged that there is no documented evidence to suggest that Sengol was used as a symbol of the transfer of power from the British to India. This is despite the fact that there is ample evidence available about the Sengol, its history and its significance, why it was used in the first place. So BJP is up in the arms. Home Minister Amit Shah has hit back at the Congress and questioned why it harbors so much hatred towards Indian culture and traditions, slamming the